I was a pretty imaginative and goofy kid growing up. When I was in elementary school specifically, I always wanted to make people laugh and smile somehow. I always tried at least to keep my optimism high even if things were going wrong for me. And when I was a kid and getting bullied a lot, things were going wrong a lot. A lot of people thought my overactive imagination was weird and I didn't succeed in making people laugh. In fact, people said that I annoyed them, which I probably did. Who knows, this was a long time ago. And I didn't have many friends except for a select few. So even though in public I kept my optimism high, I still felt unaccepted. I usually looked at cartoons as an escape, and when I was a kid, I was in front of the TV a lot. There were many shows that I loved, like Looney Tunes, Fairly Odd Parents, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but none of those compared to the obsession I had for Spongebob Squarepants. SpongeBob was on all the time in my household. I was pretty much the perfect age when it hit its peak. I was 3 when the show premiered, and I was 8 when the movie came out. The sense of humor that I grew accustomed to growing up relied on the absurdist humor that SpongeBob had, and my optimistic attitude that I tried to keep in public despite bullying was inspired by the optimistic attitude SpongeBob had. Even if it didn't work, I always stuck to my guns and kept trying because the show taught me to keep trying even if I experienced failure. It taught me to use those failures as motivations and try again, and I'll succeed eventually. If you've seen the show, you know SpongeBob isn't one who succeeds very often, but he still kept to that hope. For example, if he fails his boating license test, the first thing he does is take another test, and so on and so forth. And I always thought, even as a kid, that was extremely motivational. So I kept on to that hope when I wasn't doing great in elementary school. I still tried to be as loyal as possible, and even though it took some time, I managed to expand my friend group as time went on. And to this day, I still have most of those friends. The heart of SpongeBob is very evident in every episode you watch, to a point where the show becomes comforting. There are definitely characters in the show who are more realist, like Squidward, but as the show goes on, you realize that those characters who may seem like the complete opposite of optimism are characters that still deeply care for the people around them. We've seen how much SpongeBob has affected Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Sandy's life in a positive way. Even if they're all realists of sorts, they still have passions and they still hold on to hope. SpongeBob might annoy Squidward all the time, and in some cases even slow him down, but Squidward is still always determined to have his life and passions on track. Isn't it always satisfying whenever you get to see him succeed at something? Isn't it always satisfying when we see Squidward stand up for him? SpongeBob might annoy Mr. Krabs at times, but Mr. Krabs still always acts like a father figure towards him. And isn't it so sweet sometimes? SpongeBob taught me and most people how to keep on hope for others, because deep down they care more about you than you may think. All this right here is the wholesomeness of SpongeBob SquarePants. And it was exactly what 5-year-old me and even now 24-year-old me need to hear. So even though most of the humor is very goofy and even intentionally dumb, as you get older, it's much more mature and smarter than you think. It left an impact on so many, including myself, for a reason. SpongeBob taught me to laugh at my mistakes and to continue trying no matter what. SpongeBob taught me that even though it's good to be mature, it's always okay to be a child at heart. SpongeBob taught me to keep your friends close to you no matter what. Even if there's some dramatic falling out, that doesn't mean you're not allowed to care about them anymore. SpongeBob taught me that even though something can go wrong, it's always important to anticipate the next day. SpongeBob is not only special to me because I grew up with it and it shaped my sense of humor. SpongeBob is special to me because even though it's a fictional show, for little boy me, it made me feel like I had a new friend in a time where I didn't have a lot of friends. Someone or something that kept my optimism and humor high, and to share it to those who need it. And given the impact it's given to not only just me, but to others too, is astronomical. I specifically highly recommend you check out the live-action remakes from Christian J and the Froyo Gamers. They're hugely entertaining and feel very nostalgic. The creator of SpongeBob, Steven Hillenburg, sadly passed away in 2018. And out of all the celebrity deaths that have happened in my life, I think that one hit me the hardest. I remember where I was when I heard the news and everything, but around that sadness I felt came a bit of happiness because I'm sure Steven knew how much his creation meant to so many, and even though I'm just one of those kids who watched his show and grew up, I'll always be thankful to him for making little boy me feel like I made a new friend.